Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about the requests module in Python. So I have a few examples here that we can look at. So first, in this example, I'm using the OpenWeatherMap API. So here we are getting the current weather for this specific location. So if you want to see the documentation of this API, I have the documentation open here. So this is what I'm trying to do. So how to make a API call, specifically a get API call. Okay, so if I go back here, we see that we need the lat, longitude, and then the API key. Okay, so I have the API key here, and I'm actually pulling the API key from this environment key and using this function. Okay, and of course you need to import the requests module, and I'm also importing the OS module, because I'm using this function here. Okay, so again, this is the parameters that we need to pass in, or the required parameters that we need to pass in for this API to work. Okay, so, and this is the URL, right? You can actually just copy and paste this. You can pass the lat or longitude here, replace this. These are just placeholders, right? And this should work if you copy and paste this into the browser. But of course, we are using Python, so we're not doing that. So here, this is how you call or make a get API. Get call, right? So requests, this is the module, and get the function, and you pass in the URL, which is this. And we are assigning this into a variable called response. And here we are just checking if the request is successful. So that's how you do it. So response, right? This is the, what do you call this? The attribute that you need to actually see if the request is successful or not. So here we are saying that if this status code is equals to 200, we perform this action, right? We are assigning this, the JSON function, into a variable called data. And here, if you want to check or what type of object is this variable called data, you can do type. You can call the built-in type function. And here we are just printing all the information or data. And we are also calling the keywords to display the values, basically. So data is actually a dictionary, right? And these are keys. All these are keys. And of course, if you call the keys, you get the values. So let me go ahead and run this code. Yeah, so we see that data is a dictionary right here, and we print the whole data with this code. So that's why we see all this. And then here we are just printing the weather in Makati City, PH, which is the Philippines, and then the name of the weather here. And of course, how you got the name of the weather is by calling the weather, the key weather. And if you just look at here, where is it? Here. This is the key. And then, of course, this is a list. So we're using this index 0. And then we call the description, the key, the description key. So that's what description key. That's why we get the broken clouds. Similar to this. So main, this is the, where is it? Main, temp. So we are calling the main. So we can think of these actually are as folders. So we are calling the key main and temp, and we get the value, which is 27.44 Celsius. Okay, of course, this was not performed because this is true. So we're able to make a get call. All right. And actually, just to make the output clear, shorter, we can do it this way. Dictionary and then the print statement. Okay, so let me go ahead and comment this, comment out this code. The next example is using a post request with form data. So we are using the free website, meaning this is free in terms of making HTTP requests. So let me go ahead and comment this code. So here we are again importing the request and the JSON module also, because we are using this code here. So here it says here we are sending a post request with form encoded data, and the content type header is automatically set to this. Okay, so here, instead of using get, we are using the function post. And again, I can say that it's function because you can actually verify that by doing print type requests post. Yeah, let's see if this works. Yes, function. So that's the first print statement that we have. So it's a function. Okay, so that's how you verify it. And this is applicable for not just the post call, but also for the get call as well, and any other HTTP actions. All right, so what's this? So the call was successful actually. So that's how you can use the data parameter. Okay. Let me just comment out this code. And the next example is this. So doing a post request with JSON payload. So we are still using the same website, httpbin.org. And here, instead of passing in data, we are using the JSON parameter instead of the parameter data. Okay, and that's just the difference here. So this is useful if you are passing in the username and password, for example. So let me go ahead and run this code. Yeah. So here we see the JSON file that or payload that we passed in, which is this username and password. And similar to earlier, we should see the keys here with this example. So key 1, value 1, key 2, value 2, key 3, value 3 here. That's the payload. Okay. Let me just comment it out. And the next example is using a GET request. And here in this example, we are using the parameter params. So we can think of parameter as a filter. So here we are using it, and we are just assigning this variable to that parameter param. And if I go ahead and run this, this should work. Yes. So here we see the URL. So this is the search key, right? And this is the this is the value, and the another key, which is this, and this is the value, Manila. All right. So last but not least is an example of how you would handle a error when you're making API calls. So here I'm just using a invalid key, right? As the name suggests, invalid key, and this is the variable, and I'm assigning it to or passing it to this placeholder. So if I run this, we should see that the status code is not 200, and we should get it. I think it should be 401. Yeah, 401. Failing to get exchange rates. Okay. And I got tips here or best practices. So always handle status codes. Use timeout, which what we have been doing here. Not for all the examples, but we should always use timeout to prevent hanging requests, right? And then we use the method JSON only when the content type is application in JSON, and never hardcode secrets. So here we saw that we used this function to pull the API key. So we're not encoding the API or hard coding the API key in the code itself. And we're not using the try except block in this example, but in production we should use it because that's how you would handle all the errors and everything else smoothly, right? So hopefully you found this video useful. If you have, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.